Good morning, my dear student. On the behalf of KTHM College Nasik and Department of Chemistry of this college, I am Dr. S.R. Labde welcomes you to the lecture on gravimetric analysis. Student, in last lecture we discussed solubility product and its application in gravimetric analysis. With the solubility product, we know that we can determine the concentration of reagent which is required for a precipitation reaction. We also discussed that with that concentration of reagent, whether precipitation reaction is possible or precipitation is possible or not. With the help of solubility product, we also discuss the solubility or a loss in precipitate during the gravimetric analysis. Student, in a gravimetric analysis, main aim of the analyst or chemist is to isolate the precipitate quantitatively. And therefore, generally, analyst or chemist use the common ion effect for quantitative precipitation of analyte. But during this application of common ion effect, many times it results some introduction of impurity in the precipitate or adverse effect in a gravimetric analysis. That adverse effect gives the impurities in a gravimetric analysis, and here, in order to avoid the impurities in gravimetric analysis, we have to consider first upon the solubility of the precipitate. Therefore, here how we can control the solubility of precipitate and factors affecting the solubility of precipitate. Therefore, in today's lecture we discuss different factors that affect the solubility of the precipitates. Therefore, factors affecting the solubility of the precipitate. All the precipitates formed in a gravimetric analysis are a sparingly soluble electrolyte. Generally, solubility of this sparingly soluble electrolyte are controlled by the application of common ion effect. Generally, common ion effect is also possible by using a suitable reagent that works as a reagent as well as that gives the common ion for decreasing the solubility of the precipitate. For example, if we have to precipitate, suppose for example barium sulfate, then barium sulfate will be precipitated if barium is an analyte or sulfate is an analyte. Therefore, in this case, if barium is an analyte, then we can use sodium sulfate as a reagent, which is a strong electrolyte, gives sodium ion and sulfate ion. Here sulfate ions are generated that act as a reagent for precipitation of barium, as well as it exerts a common ion effect for decreasing the solubility of precipitate. Similarly, if sulfate is a analyte and we have to quantitatively estimate or we have to quantitatively precipitate sulfate, then barium chloride may be used as a reagent. Therefore, barium chloride, that is a strong electrolyte, gives barium ion and 2-chloride ion. Here, reagent also gives the common ion effect in decreasing the solubility of precipitate. Therefore, in gravimetric analysis, we can select a reagent that have a dual function that precipitates analyte, precipitates the analyte as well as creates a common ion effect, for decreasing the solubility of precipitate. Therefore, in this case, the first factor that affects the solubility of precipitate is a common ion effect. First factor is a common ion effect, and common ion effect plays an important role in decreasing the solubility of precipitate, because all precipitate thus formed are a sparingly soluble electrolyte. Now second effect or second parameter that decreases the or increases the solubility of precipitate is the formation of complex ion. Formation of complex ion. Now effect of formation of complex ion on the solubility of precipitate. Suppose for example, we have to precipitate Al3 plus ion by using a hydroxide ion, then AlOH thrice precipitate is obtained. In this case, aluminum is analyte, hydroxide ion are reagent, and therefore AlOH thrice precipitate thus formed. But when we use excess of hydroxide ion, then this AlOH thrice precipitate is get dissolved by forming a common ion, AlOH4 minus. This ion is a complex ion, and that complex ion decreases in solubility, complex ion, or increases the solubility of precipitate because of formation of the complex ion. In this case, initially aluminum is precipitated, but when we use excess of excess of hydroxide ion, then aluminum hydroxide tetrahydroxo aluminum third ion, that is a complex ion, is formed, and that is a soluble in a precipitation reaction. Therefore, in order to decrease the solubility of precipitate by common ion effect, if we increase the excess of reagent, sometimes that excess of reagent may increase the solubility of precipitate because of the common ion effect. And this is a effect that increases the solubility because of the formation of complex ion. And here complex ion formed by a common ion that increases the solubility. Here this is an ion which is common to this, but it increases the solubility. Similarly here, suppose for example, we have Ag plus Cn minus, it gives AgCN precipitate. AgCN precipitate. But when this AgCN, when excess of Cn minus ion are added, then it gives the soluble complex AgCN twice minus. This is a soluble because of the formation of complex ion. Therefore, complex ion formed by common ion also increases the solubility of the precipitate. Therefore, common ion effect is not true for every case. In this case, sometimes it may increases the solubility of precipitate. Solubility of precipitate or complex may be formed by a diverse ion. Diverse ion also increases the solubility of precipitate. For example, we have Ag plus Cl minus, it gives AgCl precipitate, and if we add ammonia, then AgCl plus twice NH3, it gives AgNH3 twice and Cl minus. Therefore, here this is a soluble. Therefore, not only common ion effect, not only common ion but also diverse ion increases the solubility of precipitate due to formation of complex ion. Common ion effect decreases the solubility, but formation of complex ion increases the solubility of precipitate. Student, now we discuss third factor. Third factor is a effect of acid on the solubility of precipitate, and this effect is called as salt effect. Salt effect. Effect of acid on the solubility of precipitate. Generally, the solubility of the salts of strong acid are increases by addition of strong acid. For example, calcium chloride, it can be precipitated as a sodium oxalate H2C2O4, then it gives calcium oxalate CaC2O4 plus twice NaCl. This is a precipitate. We have to quantitatively estimate calcium by forming calcium oxalate precipitate. And in this case, sodium oxalate is a reagent, Na2C2O4. Therefore, Na2C2O4 that gives the calcium oxalate precipitate, and here this is calcium chloride, it is a salt of strong acid. Therefore, solubility of such a salt which is formed by the salt of strong acid, then this calcium oxalate get dissolved into hydrochloric acid because of formation of oxalic acid, and here calcium chloride CaCl2. Therefore, it becomes soluble when HCl is added. Therefore, calcium oxalate is get dissolved into hydrochloric acid because calcium oxalate is a salt of strong acid, and that's why it get dissolved into the hydrochloric acid. Now here, in order to maintain the calcium oxalate as it is, or in order to decrease the solubility of this calcium oxalate, we can use this oxalic acid for washing purpose. Calcium oxalate plus H2C2O4, it gives insoluble calcium oxalate because of common ion effect. And therefore here the solubility of sparingly soluble electrolyte here decreases by using the common ion effect. Therefore here solubility of this type of salt get increased because of the addition of strong acid, and that effect is called as salt effect. That results in formation of salt, and therefore salts are soluble in water, and that increases the solubility of the sparingly soluble electrolyte. Or student, now discuss the effect of temperature on the solubility of precipitate. Effect of temperature on the solubility of precipitate. Generally increase in temperature increases the solubility of precipitate or sparingly soluble electrolyte. For example, silver chloride AgCl is 1.72 milligram per liter is solubility at 10 degrees centigrade. It will be increases up to 21.1 milligram per liter when temperature increases to 100 degree. That means here solubility generally increases with rising temperature, but it is not true for every electrolyte. If dissociation of a salt or sparingly soluble electrolyte takes place takes place with exothermic reaction, then its solubility decreases with increase in temperature. For example, if we add calcium carbonate in water, it gives calcium 2 plus carbonate ion plus heat. In such a case, solubility of such an electrolyte is decreases with rising temperature, because its dissociation creates a heat, and that's why its solubility is decreases. Vice versa, if dissociation of electrolyte takes place with absorption of heat, if dissociation of electrolyte takes place with absorption of heat, then its solubility increases with rise in temperature. For example, if we dissolve urea in water, we observe cooling effect, and this cooling effect indicates that thermal energy is absorbed. In this case, solubility of urea increases with rise in temperature. Generally, the solubility of electrolyte increases with temperature, but it is related with type of salts. If salt dissociate with elimination or liberation of heat, then its solubility decreases, and if salt dissociates with absorption of heat energy, then its solubility increases. Now, student, next factor is the effect of solvent on the solubility of precipitate. Fifth factor is the effect of solvent on the solubility of precipitate. Solvent have a very important role in a precipitation reaction, and that affects the solubility of the precipitate. What is solvent? Solvent in a solution, whatever the excess amount or more amount of solute, that is a solvent. Solution is a combination of solute and solvent. Solvent, that is a component which is more or which is excess in that mixture, that is called as solvent. Generally, in gravimetric analysis, solvent is in liquid form. Therefore, here how that solvent affect the solubility, that we discuss here. Solubility of sparingly soluble electrolyte is determined by a principle like dissolves like. That means here polar solute soluble in polar solvent, and non-polar solute soluble in non-polar solvent. Therefore, here if solute is polar one, then it is easily soluble in polar solvent. If solute is non-polar one, then it is easily soluble in non-polar solvent. Therefore, in order to avoid the loss of precipitate in gravimetric analysis, we have to select a solvent in such a way that when solute is polar, generally we can use non-polar solvent. And if solid is non-polar, then we can use a polar solvent for washing of the precipitate. Due to this, we can achieve the precipitation quantitatively and we can avoid the loss of the precipitate. When we obtain a precipitate, tetraamine copper sulfates, tetraamine copper second sulfate. This is a complex compound obtained by mixing ammonia into copper sulfate solution. This compound is highly soluble in water, but we can make it insoluble by adding organic solvent. And that organic solvent, when it is added into the aqueous medium, at that time that medium becomes organic like. Therefore, like dissolves like means organic compound soluble in organic solvent and inorganic compound soluble in inorganic solvent. This is an inorganic compound. We can make it insoluble by adding organic solvent, and here if we add acetone or alcohol in water, C2H5 or ethanol into the water, then this becomes insoluble. This is because of initially it is soluble in H2O, and when acetone or water is added, acetone or ethanol is added in water, this acetone or ethanol takes water away from this complex and therefore it becomes insoluble one. Therefore, like dissolves like, that is a important principle in a gravimetric analysis that determines the solubility of the precipitate. Student, with this I invite you to my next lecture on gravimetric analysis. Keep learning, happy learning. Thank you very much.